Welcome to the Workamper Show, brought to you by Workamper.com. This podcast helps you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. Each one of our episodes will introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to work camping opportunities all around the U.S. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Today I'm interviewing the operations manager for a large network of RV resorts about work camping opportunities available in many states. If you're looking for a work camping opportunity with variety, flexibility, and room to grow, this episode will be worth your time. Today's episode is brought to you by the featured employers at Workamper.com. These Workamper employers have taken the extra step to share some photos and detailed information about their Workamper programs with you, so be sure to check them out today. Opportunities exist for solos, couples, and families, whether they are full-time, part-time, seasonal, or even long-term jobs. Some are income opportunities and others involve volunteering at locations throughout the United States. So go to workamper.com/FE to meet the featured employers today. If you're an employer seeking to hire work campers, then you can learn about the benefit from year-round recruiting by becoming a featured employer. Visit workamper.com/FE details. My guest today is James Curtis with Travel Resorts of America. It is a company with 13 locations stretching from Florida to South Dakota. James explains how the company is evolving, with many parks transitioning to the Red Rover brand while still honoring longtime memberships. He also shares how work campers are employed by the resorts to serve in many positions, and he explains what traits make a work camper truly great. He stressed why attitude and sense of community matter so much and described how some work campers can move from entry-level positions into leadership roles. James describes scheduling, pay, benefits, cross-training, and the kinds of applicants who stand out in the hiring process. If you've ever wondered what it might be like to work at a park where teamwork matters and where there may be opportunities to move between locations, stay tuned. James offers a helpful look at what Travel Resorts of America is seeking and why his own RV park, Gettysburg Battlefield Resort, may appeal to work campers looking for a rewarding experience this summer. To tell us more about his resort and the company in general, please welcome James Curtis, the operations manager for Travel Resorts of America, to the show. Thanks for joining me today, James. I really appreciate the time. Tell us a little bit about what Travel Resorts of America is all about, how many locations it has, and all that good stuff.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Greg. Travel Resorts of America currently has 13 locations, and we're mainly a membership park model for a very long time, clear back into the 90s. And recently we're going through a little bit of a transition. A lot of our parks are moving away from membership, and only 3 are going to currently continue to sell memberships, but the rest of them are going to be rebranded as Red Rover. And we're very excited about that. Robert Bose, our previous director of operations, is now working under contract. Some of the other owners out there, campgrounds, will recognize his name. He's been in the industry for many years, and he's heading up that project. And I'm currently at Gettysburg Battlefield Resort as the operations manager. I manage with a young lady who I'm very proud of. Her name is Carly.
Okay. So your park is going to remain a membership park?
Yes. Yeah.
Will all the other ones still be under the Travel Resorts umbrella, or is it going to be under the Red Rover umbrella so that people hear those names, they'll affiliate the right organization?
They will be accessible through Travel Resorts, but they will go under the Red Rover umbrella and be rebranded under that. And those will be all open to the public. They'll still honor the memberships that were there, that have been there for many years, but they'll transition to public.
Okay, that's fair enough. And when will this transition take place?
It's happening within the next 30 days. It should be March, early March, and we're very excited about that.
I can imagine. That sounds exciting. So 13 locations, are you concentrated in one specific area, or do you have them throughout the country?
We have them all up and down the East Coast. There's a park in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. We have 2 in Pennsylvania, 1 in upstate New York, several in Ohio, and there's 3 in Minnesota and 1 in South Dakota.
Okay. Super. So you do have quite the footprint.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we
How many campers do you folks typically welcome in a year?
Last estimate I heard, I believe we have around 20,000 members. Opening to the public now at Gettysburg, once we hit Memorial Day and actually a little before that, we're off the ground and running. It's a huge tourist hotspot. Same with South Dakota. Some of the other ones, like there's a ranch actually in Ohio that hosts a rodeo, and they do very well. And they're going to be transitioning to a KOA, so that's exciting too.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So there's a lot of variety of places to work if people wanted jobs.
And they're very much, a lot of them have their own theme, like the park we have in Georgia. It actually used to be an old train station, and there's cabooses on site, and folks can go and stay in those cabooses for a night.
How fun is that? That's
Isn't that
really
neat?
It is. It really is. How many work campers do you folks typically hire?
Wow. Overall, I have a Workamper database. I'm usually the one that lists the ads for all the parks, and my wife and I will conduct interviews, or now and then we'll send them directly to the park managers. Typically, the bigger parks like at Gettysburg, we have a staff of 25 to 30 work campers. And then some of the other parks, they can have as little as 5 or 6 depending on their size, but they go up in size depending on the size of the park. Like Rocky Fork in Ohio, the ranch I mentioned, I believe they hire around 40 to 45 staff every year.
Wow. So there are a lot of jobs and a lot of positions that you folks are trying to fill.
Oh, absolutely. Every year, it's always a little bit of a challenge, but it's also very rewarding. I love doing interviews, getting to know folks. We do video conference calls when we get the email. We usually advertise through you guys. We'll use Facebook a little bit as well, but we always use Workamper News just because of the response we get from Workamper News.
That's great. How long have you folks been utilizing work campers?
I started out as a work camper many years ago, and I just happened to be in a park where I was working with the manager, and the manager up and quit. And all of a sudden I found myself with a job opportunity, knew nothing about it, but I worked myself into a position managing that. It was a national recreation area. And the next thing I know, I'm on a management track and just doing things I never thought I would do and having the time of my life. This is for people who actually really love the industry. They love camping. They love the community.
It gets in your blood, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some of the types of jobs that you hire work campers to do?
Oh, everything. It's the thing I like about this position and working in this industry is there's always unique challenges. We have everything from maintenance to housekeeping to front desk, reservations, snack bar, hosting, activities. It's amazing how much the industry encompasses. And one of the things I always find funny is I'll be talking to somebody, and although I have a passion, the conversation will come up. Maybe someday when I retire, I'll run a campground, and I have to chuckle.
That's right. That is a big retirement myth. We're going to buy a campground and kick back and enjoy life.
Yeah, that's camping. That's not running a campground.
That's right. So with all these jobs, are you cross-training people to do multiple positions, or do you hire people just to do a specific thing, such as maintenance or housekeeping?
We love to cross-train. And there are a few positions that are skill specific. And when I'm looking for a maintenance person, the 2 questions I ask are what type of background do they have in plumbing or electrical, things like that. The bigger projects we usually contract out. But a lot of these guys that come in, some of them I'm finding younger and younger coming into the industry, they want the place to stay, they want the free full hookup, and they get all hours paid. And when you get into those positions, you do look for a specific skill set, but at the same time, it's not unheard of to have a maintenance guy out hosting somebody or taking some items down for activities under the pavilion. Other positions, we love to cross train, and we love to see that enthusiasm. When folks come on board, we have the front desk that'll jump behind the snack bar. And the cool thing about it too is when you're in the industry, if you love what you do, you can go forward. You can be promoted. My assistant manager actually came on site as a work camper. The previous manager was, hey, do you want a job? I'll give you a place to stay. And next thing you know, she's front desk manager. And the next thing you know, she's now the assistant manager. But it's pretty much all about what your passion is and, what effort and you want to put into the job.
Do Workampers get an opportunity to apply for management positions, or are those typically full-timers?
I love to go by the saying, a happy work camper is a happy guest. Whatever they would like, I try to fulfill that. If someone's not happy in an area, we want them to be happy. We want to find where they're going to thrive, where they might be suited best, what their talents are. Some of the best ideas and some of the best workforce we've had have been folks who you just need to give them time. You listen to them, see what their needs are, what their ideas are. And I love that. I love that management style of opening up to folks. And really, I honestly say, and I say this a lot, I don't really run the park. I try to organize and I see the big picture, but I have a whole bunch of amazing folks that run the park. And they come to me with specific needs. And if they're thriving or not thriving, I try to find out what their needs are.
It must be nice to be able to develop a staff that is all like-minded and committed in the same direction to help serving guests.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We use a chat. It's called Group Me, and all the staff are in there, and we have certain channels. Like we have a channel for the supervisors. We have a channel for all the regular staff and that everybody's in. And then there's even some of our members have a special chat group in there, but we communicate through that. And a lot of times I'll get those message dings at night and they're just joshing each other or sharing memes, or they really are a tight-knit family community.
That's fun. Now, you've got parks all over the nation from South Dakota down to Florida. Are these open all year? All of them open all year, or some of them seasonal?
Most of the northern parks are seasonal, and a few of them, like Rocky Fork, they have cabins. They'll rent those in the winter. The rougher ones now in Minnesota and up in South Dakota with all the snow and the cold, those close for the season. We have one in upstate New York. It closes for the season. The southern ones stay open year round. Gettysburg is located right at it's on the line with weather. I've been here 5 years, and this is the first year we actually got hit when that big snowstorm hit over the winter. We got about a foot of snow, and we had to close for about a month and a half just because we were not prepared for anything like that. Normally, we don't get hardly any snow at all. We'll stay open year round.
Okay, very good. What kind of benefits do the Workampers get when they come to work for you?
The big one that I've seen, and this is a shift I've seen in the industry ever since years ago when I was a work camper, the industry used to focus mainly on retired couples, people who were traveling in that to benefit, and they would volunteer. I've seen a big shift where more and more folks, younger and younger, are quitting their corporate jobs and deciding, you know what, let's build a bus, let's get a camper, let's travel. I want to experience life. And for us, it's a huge benefit because the parks that are open seasonally, they'll come in, they'll work for a season, they get all their hours paid, they get a free spot with all the electric, the water, the sewer, and they get to experience whatever area they're in. On top of that, we offer things, freebies. We'll do propane at cost, which RVers know that's always, things like that are always can get pricey. And then we have a store discount. Sometimes we'll give discounts on family coming to visit. Usually a lot of times what we'll do if family comes to stay, I try to work with them and we'll just hook them up with a site. If they have an RV, have them come visit. So it benefits not only the work campers, but their family too.
That's unusual. I don't think I've ever heard of another campground doing that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying that.
Good. You had mentioned earlier that all the hours are paid?
They are. The pay is low, but at the same time, you're getting the free site, you're getting all your utilities. And most people find that acceptable. We are competitive as far as like state of Pennsylvania is ridiculous with the minimum wage. I think it's at around $7.25 or something like that. We pay starting wages at least $11 an hour. And depending on your skill set, what we negotiate, that can go upwards. And then if you decide to stay on, which is really cool, you can always hop between parks. We've had several people that work here in Gettysburg. They go south and they work at a park south in the winter. And then if you stay with the company, that pay raise gets bumped.
That's cool. So time at other parks counts toward your overall experience.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Great. I was wondering if it was possible for people to transfer, and it sounds like it is.
Yes. Yep. We look in the company. That's awesome.
And when it comes to pay, because you're in multiple locations, multiple states, is it based on the state's minimum wage as a general rule that you're starting at? Or is each park doing their own kind of thing? So it's hard to gauge what that number is going to be.
We try to keep the minimum, the very minimum is always at 11, no matter what state you're in. Now, some states have a higher, New York and Florida will have a higher wage. We always follow the state guidelines. So if that's higher, if you're lucky enough to get in New York, I think theirs is right around 14 starting. So all the pay is relevant. It's a bonus in some states, and in others, it's a bonus just because you're not getting minimum, you're getting above minimum.
Are you folks hiring solo work campers as well as couples and even families?
Oh, we love solo work campers. My biggest thing always every year is whenever we're interviewing, a lot of times this stuff is all trainable, unless you're in that specific skill set of maybe reservationist or maintenance. But almost everything that we do is trainable. So we're looking for things like that attitude and that sense of community and the ethical standards someone carries themselves by. That's what we mainly focus on whenever we're hiring.
Would you consider a family, so somebody with teenagers who might also be able to get a job at the park?
Yes, absolutely. Pet friendly in all our parks. Families are welcome. Solo work campers. Probably the biggest issue we have with hiring is the rigs, because a lot of times people are getting those bigger and bigger rigs. And, we do have those sites, but at the same time, those are a limited number of sites because we also want the guests to have availability for those sites.
That makes sense. When it comes to scheduling, are you scheduling people so that they have consecutive days off and couples have the same days off?
We always work with them. That's probably one of the most asked questions is, what's my schedule going to be like? And if it's a couple, they'll say, can we get the same days off? We do not overwork people. That's one thing. I always ask them how many hours they're looking for. Some people want to work 10 or 15 hours. Usually our minimum here is 15 to 20. And then some people want 40 hours every week. I always joke with the work campers when I'm hiring them, especially couples, because they'll ask that question about the same days off. And I'll say, yeah, some couples want that. Others don't want to see each other on their day.
That's too funny. Okay, so typically the minimum that you're going to expect from a work camper is 15 hours a week?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
15 to 20 hours a week. Yep.
super. But full-time is available if they desire?
We always try to listen to what their needs are. If we can put somebody in a full-time position and they're happy, that's one body we have to hire for positions rather than two. So that works for us as well.
Okay, fair enough. Uh, what kind of traits and qualifications are you looking for in a work camper? You had mentioned earlier they have to be a team player.
One of the things I've found challenging is once you build a good staff, you're bringing work campers into an already existing staff. So a lot of times when I'm doing interviews, I get to know the managers, what their culture is like, and I try to hire what I think will be a good fit into a situation. At Gettysburg, we have a very communal staff. They watch out for each other. They're very social. And so I try to look and see, would this be a good fit at the park? Would it fit for them? Would it fit for us? And can we accommodate? Would it work out well for both parties?
Do they need any special skills or training in order to come to work for you? Like specifically, are you doing construction where you need carpenters?
A lot of times we'll be interviewing and we always ask for a resume first just to look over their background and their experience. There's a lot in a resume that speaks for itself. When I get an email, sometimes I'll get emails that I'm not sure if people have ever interviewed before or not, but there's very little information. There's no introduction, no nothing telling me about themselves. And that's my first interaction with that work camper before I reach out to them. And as far as their special skills, I look at their resume. Even there's guys that have been in construction that have worked it for 30, 40 years, and they still want to do those projects. They just don't want to do it for 40 hours a week.
Right.
We take that into account. And if I have a host that's owned a construction business and they just want to host, they'll still help the other team members. If somebody's doing a floor in one of the cabins or repairing a shower or something, you'll find they'll be down there right alongside them helping if they can.
Okay. Let's talk about Gettysburg, the park that you're at. Are you hiring people right now for this summer?
We had two losses this winter where it was due to RV breakdown. And so we had a full staff. We always hire in August, September, around that time we put our ads out. Usually we have around an 85 to 90% retention rate. So we don't have to hire very many folks. But we had a couple of folks that were going to come back and they could not make it because of their RV. So we are hiring, but it's only a couple of positions right now. We're looking for a reservationist and also a housekeeper.
Okay. So your park starts hiring in August or September. Is that true for all the other parks in the company?
I encourage the other parks when they send me their ads or who they're looking for the following year. What I've found in my experience is usually, especially the seasoned work campers, they're always looking ahead, 2 times ahead. They've already locked in their winter site the following spring or the previous spring. And then once they hit fall, they're looking for the following season for the next year. So that's a very good time to hire is August, September, October in the fall. And then over the winter, usually you might lose 1 or 2. And there's another hiring spree, usually around February and March.
When people apply for a job, are they applying directly to the park that they want to work for, or should they be applying to the company and the company tells them which parks would be available and best suited for what they can offer?
Most managers want you to go right to them. If you're interested in a park, you call the park, you find out who they are. When we hire through Workamper News, or if I post an ad on Facebook or something like that, I'll include my email and I'll get all the resumes. And upon that manager's request of other parks, either I'll interview them first or I'll just forward that resume on to the park.
Okay, that's fair enough. So what could a work camper do to really stand out if they wanted to come work for a specific park or for your company in general?
One of my favorite hires, I love work campers that have been around, the ones that are seasoned, because they know the ropes. They've been there and they can usually jump right in. But one of my favorite hires is the new hire. And it's funny because I'll watch different posts and websites and things where they're talking to each other. And the question always arises. I usually see it once or twice a week. If someone's new and they're just starting out, they don't think they're going to get hired. And I'll see them struggle with that. And I love new hires personally, just because they bring a level of excitement and freshness to the park that a lot of times the seasoned ones will, it's not that they're any worse or anything like that, but they've been around the block and they have a level of confidence and they're settled. But those new work campers are great. We love them.
What's involved in the hiring and interviewing process? You said a lot of it is done on Zoom. Is that the case with all the parks?
Right now, we switched to using our company has Teams. So we can set up a video conference call. We send them an email with the link saying we'd like to do an interview. And then we just ask them when they're available and we'll give them several time slots. And then once they accept, we'll send them that link and we do a video conference call. The calls themselves are very interesting. I always like doing them because you get to see somebody visually. There's a lot of communication in how somebody handles themselves, whether it's hand movements or their eyes or the smile. So I like to see them when we do the video conference call. And then generally what we'll do from there is we'll discuss the interview and what our needs are. We'll go over our payroll budget and see if we can match whatever they're looking for.
That sounds good. What draws people to the areas where the campgrounds are typically located? You have Gettysburg, which is one of the best national parks in the country.
It is. And I always get joked about by the other managers because I'll brag about my staff and about our retention rate. And they're like, you're over in Gettysburg. No wonder you are doing so well, which we do. A lot of people they want to travel. They want to see the location. Work camping is all about the experiences and coming to a place and visiting that area. Usually when people decide to stay and they want to come back season after season, it's because they found a home. They've found a community and a family they can be a part of. And we have a lot of people that, like, for instance, this year, they're coming back, but they went south. They go to Texas, they go to Florida, they go to Arizona for the winter. Some of them find jobs down there and then they come back. But usually it's the area.
The specific area that they want to visit?
Yep, the area and the people. They love the atmosphere. Most parks, the other managers I talk to, it's the atmosphere. And you're going to run across both as a work camper. I remember years ago when my wife and I first started out, I've experienced very poor management, and I've experienced managers that I would do just about anything for, that were incredible, and it was great to be a part of their team. You'll know.
That's great. What's one thing that you wish all work campers knew before they came to work for your organization?
I guess probably the biggest thing would be it's not a normal job. It's a community. It's an experience. I think sometimes people, when they first get into the industry, and like I've seen it, I've responded to some people through interviews, and for instance, what's the pay? And they're all about focused on the pay. And when I tell them what our pay is, and they're expecting something like $20 or $25 an hour, I'm like, I don't even know if that exists in the work world. But this is more about the experience, and you have to factor in that site. If you're getting that free site and you're getting all your utilities, for instance, at Gettysburg, usually sites in the area, they'll sell for about $100, $110 a night. And when you think about coming to an area you really want to visit and you're getting that site all season and you're getting all hours paid, you may not be getting the higher end of a pay scale, but you have to factor the site in, the amenities, the experience that you're getting.
Exactly. That's very good advice for people to remember, because those sites are not cheap. And it is nice to be able to spend an entire season in Gettysburg for free and get your owls paid. What a deal.
Yeah, and there's just so much to do. You drive downtown Gettysburg and it's an amazing place. There it's just full of mom and pop shops. The history itself is always worth visiting, and you'll always learn something new. And then you look at the outlying area. For instance, we're close to Hershey, we're close to DC, Lancaster. There's a lot to do, and a lot of times that's what people are looking for in certain areas. Like in South Dakota, there's the Black Hills, the monuments. It's just an incredible visit.
I agree. Where can people get more information about these opportunities? Do they have to approach the campgrounds individually, or do you have a general site where people can apply?
Usually, campground is hiring within our system. I would go to the campground directly, contact them if they want a certain area, and get a hold of the campground. Almost every park is on Facebook, though. They could also visit Travel Resorts of America. Soon to be, we're going to have some rebranding there with Red Rover. But our site, for instance, our campground's on Facebook.
Very good. Thank you for your time today, James. I really appreciate it. It sounds like you have lots of opportunities here for people all over the East Coast and up to Minnesota and South Dakota. And I encourage people to check you folks out and apply early. There are positions available yet this year at some of the campgrounds, correct?
Absolutely. And they can always email me directly, and if they're interested in something, they could email jcurtis@travelresorts.com.
Super. Thank you again. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, Greg. This was an absolute pleasure.
As the operations manager, James Curtis offered a helpful overview of what Workamping can look like at Travel Resorts of America and why the experience is about much more than just collecting a paycheck. With parks across the eastern United States, plus locations in Minnesota and South Dakota, the company offers a wide range of settings and job opportunities for solo workampers, couples, and even families. He said the company hires for many kinds of roles, including housekeeping, maintenance, front desk, reservations, snack bar, activities, and hosting. He also made it clear that Travel Resorts values flexibility, cross-training, and a positive attitude, especially from people who want to be a part of a community rather than simply fill a job. James explained that all hours are paid and a free RV site plus utilities are included in the package. In fact, some workers return year after year or even move between parks within the system. For people who want to spend a season at a fun destination area while gaining experience in the campground industry, this can be an appealing combination. James encourages interested workampers to apply early, especially in late summer and fall when many hiring decisions are made for the following season. For more information about workamping opportunities with Travel Resorts of America, contact the individual campground that interests you or visit the company online. James also said prospective applicants may email him directly at jcurtis@travelresorts.com. Today's episode was sponsored by Workamper News. Much more than just a job listing website, when you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it is to turn your workamping dreams into reality. A Workamper membership opens the door to a one-stop shop for all things workamping. Being the original resource for workamping, you find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of workampers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable workamping lifestyle, then membership is for you. Join today at workamper.com. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. That's all for this week's show. Next time I'll be speaking with the manager of a gun club in Idaho who is seeking a workamper to serve members by helping to keep the range tidy. I'll have that interview in the next episode of The Workamper Show. Thank you for listening, and if you like these interviews, please consider leaving a review wherever you download the episodes.